All right, so let me try to summarize some of the things we did this quarter on this class on geometric numerical integration. And so some of the first things we did was to think of differential equations. It's like not in terms of differential equations, but in terms of flow maps, right? So we sort of looked at flow maps. And the reason why we looked at flow maps is because then these were objects which were very natural to compare with numerical one-step methods, right? Because they both had a property that they took some initial condition, some time step, and then they gave you either the solution or an approximation thereof of it at some later time. So we looked at flow maps of dynamical systems because they were the natural objects to compare numerical methods to. And it was very natural to think about, well, what does it mean for a dynamical system to have first integrals or geometric invariants in terms of flow maps, right? So then we had these idea of first integrals. And if you recall, it's like more or less, it's like what happened with the first integral was that if you were to pull back the first integral by the flow map, it was the same thing, right? So first integrals are invariant, and the pullback, it's like by the flow maps, okay? And then if you want to check whether your numerical method had that property, you would sort of check a similar kind of result here. Okay, so so this is sort of just a high-level thing we did. It's like early on, and then the next set of things we did were to look at sort of general methods for constructing sort of numerical integrators. Okay. So in particular, it's like we looked quite a bit. It's like at these Runge-Kutta methods. And the other thing, it's like we spent a bit of time looking at were various types of composition methods, okay? And then we also sort of briefly reviewed, it's like some of the things, it's like which were important. It's like from the point of view of classical numerical analysis of numerical ODEs, which have to do with various notions of stability. And so we discussed sort of various notions stability, and we also spent maybe a little bit of time talking about error analysis of these methods. Okay, then we sort of stepped back for a bit. It's like, and we talked about an important class of dynamical systems. It's like with geometric structure, and these were sort of Lagrangian and Hamiltonian systems. And in particular, in that context, it's like we talked about invariants like the energy, like the symplectic form. And we also discussed Noether's theorem, right? And so Noether's theorem is particularly important. It's like in the context of Lagrangian Hamiltonian systems, because that gives you a way to connect symmetries with conservation laws, okay? In particular, momentum conservation laws. So connects symmetries with conservation laws, with momentum conservation laws. Okay, so in particular, this whole idea of momentum maps being preserved was in that setting. Okay, and then so we went back then to sort of think a little bit about numerical methods. It's like which preserved sort of first integrals under discretization, and the simplest examples we started looking at were these kind of projection type methods. So we looked at projection type methods. And the fact that Runge-Kutta methods sort of always preserve linear invariance, right? And then we look at the conditions under which they preserve quadratic invariance, right? So conditions for Rk to preserve quadratic invariance. All right. Then sort of we looked at other sort of general classes of methods, in particular sort of splitting methods, and the methods which were sort of particularly useful, it's like for Hamiltonian Lagrangian systems, was the idea of splitting not of the vector field, but of the Hamiltonian, right? So if you split the Hamiltonian into this sort of component Hamiltonians, and then you look at the exact Hamiltonian flow of each of those component Hamiltonians, and obviously they would be symplectic, it's like so you could easily construct a symplectic method by composing exact flows of Hamiltonian systems, which were themselves symplectic. So splitting methods, and in particular, sort of Hamiltonian splitting, right? Okay. All right. And then once we discussed that, it's like we sort of went back a little bit and talked about this sort of important technical tool. It's like which oftentimes is motivation for the whole field of geometric numerical integration, which is this idea of backward error analysis. And if you recall, the basic idea of backward error analysis was that instead of trying to analyze the extent to which your numerical method approximates the solution of the original differential equation, you try to find the closest differential equation, which the numerical method does a good job of approximating. And usually what that is that it's a correction or a modification of the original differential equation. And by sort of seeing the properties of this modified equation, you can then sort of arrive at certain conclusions about the properties of the numerical method. Okay, so in particular, for example, when we talked about symplectic integrators applied to Hamiltonian systems, then we found that the modified equations associated with symplectic integrators were themselves Hamiltonian, right? So they had this nice property that the modification, it's like which you have, it's like to the original set of Hamiltonian equations, again of Hamiltonian form, and that sort of buys you a whole lot in terms of stability properties. You have access to things like KAM theory, and so that's often a useful justification, if you will, for studying geometric integrators, is because the modified equations have perturbations to the original equations, which are in some sense structured, right? So it's not a generic perturbation, it's like of the original equations, but it's a structured perturbation. And the hope then is that that structured perturbation, it's like allows you to expand the class of, it's like things which are structurally stable with respect to those perturbations. And so your geometric integrators can give you better qualitative results. It's like because in some sense they respect it's like the structure of the system, even in this sort of perturbative sense. Okay. All right. So and then and we also sort of discussed it's like sort of various kind of constraint type methods. All right. So we learned to deal with constraints, and of course it's like there are all these methods based on Lagrange type multipliers. There were it's like shake and rattle type methods. It's like if you have a Hamiltonian system, and then the sort of towards the end of the quarter, it's like we spent quite a bit of time talking about variational integrators, and so this is sort of an important class of numerical integrators or geometric numerical integrators. It's particularly for Lagrangian and Hamiltonian systems. We talked about the idea that they were always automatically symplectic because really the discrete Lagrangian is a type 1 generating function of a symplectic map. We talked about the idea of variational error analysis, which more or less says that instead of analyzing the numerical method itself, we could analyze the generating function of the discrete Lagrangian. And we could compare how accurately it approximates the exact generating function, which is what we call the exact discrete Lagrangian. And then we also showed that variational integrators had a discrete version of Noether's theorem, which is to say that if you could construct your discrete Lagrangian in such a way that it respects a certain symmetry, then there was an associated discrete momentum map which was preserved by the flow. Okay, and normally this is all done on the Lagrangian side, right? So normally this is done at the Lagrangian side, but we spent a little bit of time also sort of describing how you can do this on the Hamiltonian side, and this is particularly motivated by what happens if you have degenerate Lagrangian Hamiltonian systems. Okay, and then in the last week of the quarter, we talked about Lie group integrators, and so this is an important class of methods because many, it's like mechanical systems, it's like have configuration spaces which are Lie groups, or which are homogeneous spaces. And you know, if you can construct numerical methods for Lie groups, it's oftentimes easy to extend them. It's like so that it apply to dynamics and homogeneous spaces as well. So examples of Lie groups include things like the rotation group. Examples of homogeneous spaces includes things like you know, the Stiefel manifold, the Grassmannians, you know, it's like the two-sphere, things along those lines. So there are many interesting cases. It's like where, you know, it's like you have some sort of non-trivial, you know, geometric configuration space, and nonlinear manifold is your configuration space, and you might want to respect that. And we also sort of, you know, also talked about this important class of mechanical systems, in particular Lagrangian Hamiltonian mechanical systems, and how they have very, very natural geometric invariants, like the energy, like the symplectic structure, like the associated momentum maps. So, so hopefully it's like this class has given you an overview of some of the techniques which are available. It's like to address this very rich family of problems. It's like having to do with you know, the preservation of geometric structure in dynamical systems. And again, the motivation, if you will, for all of this is that these geometric invariants constrain the dynamics of the systems which you work with. And so the more you can respect it's like those geometric invariants or geometric constraints, the more likely it is that your numerical solution is going to approximate the qualitative behavior of the dynamics in a good way. So with that, it's like, let me just conclude this quarter. It's like, I hope you enjoyed this class, and you know, best wishes for your future endeavors. Right?